everybody. I am so excited to be here as part of the Pittsburgh Virtual Fringe. My name is Alexis, and I am an actor, director, producer, and all-around Fringe fan #1. I have had every job available in the Fringe, from sweeping the floors on stage to executive producer of one of the United States Fringe festivals. And because of that love of Fringe that I obviously have, I am very, very, very excited to be introducing some of the artists who are part of Pittsburgh Virtual Fringe. So without any further ado, let me introduce all of you to Ryan Thornhill and ask him some questions about his show during the Fringe, Self-Care Tips with Tiffany. So Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about why this show, why now, and kind of give us a feel for, all of it, all the work that went into producing something during a virtual festival pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, Alexis, thank you for having me. It's exciting to get to sit down and chat. This is our second year being involved in the Pittsburgh Virtual Fringe. So we're excited to be back and presenting something. Tiffany's started out as a way to kind of figure out digital theater, figure out how to write something that can be done virtually. I started Thornhill Theater Space at the beginning of last year, right at the kind of beginning of the pandemic, when I was living in China, teaching English. Because everything kind of went virtually, I was like, okay, let's do this. We can do this worldwide now. Why not try? So we did a few new writing live streams, readings of some new writings, some new plays for about 12 weeks. Then we organized and produced our own virtual worldwide Fringe festival that took place over 36 days in August of last year. And yeah, Tiffany's was kind of, we wanted to start our own original content. We wanted to have original shows that we had created as a company. So yeah, I approached one of my partners, Pedro Diegues, and he kind of already had this little idea for a really short, fun little play that would work well digitally. So we jumped into it, and it was a lot of fun kind of navigating how to make it work, how to still make it entertaining and make it theatrical. So that's just, that was the fun part about it, was just kind of navigating what works and what doesn't in this new theater sphere.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited about a couple of things that you just said, mostly the idea of really embracing the idea that we can do performance and we can take it worldwide.
Right.
That's really exciting to me, because there was a lot of hesitancy in those of us who kind of grew up in the old way of doing theater, that it was like, well, if it's not live, it's not, if you don't have live audience in front of you, then it's not real. And that really needed some people to kind of bust through and go, but why? So the work that you were doing last year and your virtual Fringe was really, really important. And so I'm very excited just to even be able to talk to somebody who is thinking so far outside the box and really kind of helping some of us who are a little stuck. I've always been a fan of it, but I'm really just grateful to kind of be able to pick your brain a little. The other aspect of this was that you were in China when this was started. So I don't know what that is or what I want to ask you about that. I don't know if that fits into this conversation, but holy moly, I want to know kind of how, I'm sure that informs part of what's going on. So can you tell me a little bit, that's all stuff I guess I wanted to say to your face. I don't know. But can you tell me a little bit about how developing work and developing a space for others to work in was different virtually as compared to in person or a live space?
Okay, I want to kind of preface everything that I say about this with the whole idea that I too, like everybody else, the reason I do theater is for the live, in the space connection, experience, energy, obviously that's why we do it. But I wanted to try and kind of be that person. I don't want to call myself a pioneer, but it was just a thought that came into my head to really try and push and go outside the box on what we can do digitally. But my main thing in the ethos of my company is to make it globally. Connecting the world through theater is what I like to use. So the one thing that kind of is a benefit of it is I have been able to work with worldwide artists. This whole digital realm of things allows me to do that. Like currently right now, I'm up every Sunday at 5 a.m. rehearsing with a cast of Australians for a musical reading we're doing. So it's just like, who cares? I'm getting up at 5 a.m. I'm working with a cast of Australian actors. Like that's so cool. Like it doesn't even matter having to get up early or pull late nights or hours, because that's just kind of the best part of all of it. And that was one of the best parts about Tiffany. Now the two actors that we chose were UK actors. They're both Brits, but we wanted to keep both of them within the same um, accent and one less thing that we had to really worry about, you know, to because we really wanted to focus on. And when I tell you figuring out a virtual performance, I'm talking putting a piece of paper up on the screen to make sure that both people's heads are level so that it looks like they're in the same room, testing different color backgrounds, like things you would never ever have to worry about if you were doing it on a stage.
Right.
But that's the fun in it, isn't it? That's the fun in it.
It's the big
And it
puzzle.
was just yes, exactly. And then continuing to try and think outside the box because that's what everybody's doing. So we're getting all these great ideas of things to do and fun ways of going about theater and things. So it's fun to be continuing to kind of think that way and see how far we can push it.
So excellent. Okay, so our time is so short. And I hate to say that over and over again, but I want anyone who's
Okay.
watching this video to understand that you have a lot that you could say and that
Totally.
I want to ask you. So we might have to continue this in another
Yes.
form, another time.
Absolutely.
But can you tell us anything about the show and kind of its influences and where we could find ourselves if we when we could watch this show during the Pittsburgh Virtual Fringe?
So the original idea was to make it COVID pandemic themed so that it all kind of made sense in the world that we were living in. So we really pushed that. And everybody's going to kind of feel for these characters because everybody through this pandemic has really felt all these feelings, isolation, which may, you know, everybody's going a little nuts. They're thinking crazy thoughts and we're all stuck inside. There's not much to do. And the world that was created in Tiffany's is a little bit more exaggerated than what's going on in the real world right now. But why not make it more exaggerated, make the stakes higher, make it more fun? So yeah, but I do feel that the issues and the struggles that these characters are going through is something that a wide range of people will be able to connect with, or at least kind of understand what they're going through, which I think is the fun of it.
I'm so excited for this show, and I'm also excited for the work that you and your group are doing. So I'm hoping that I can give you just a moment to tell us how we can keep in touch with you, how we can learn more about the work you're doing, and also how we can contact you either before the Fringe, during the Fringe, after the Fringe, as you continue creating in the global, in this virtual space, and when the world opens up again in a more personal and a more personal space.
Absolutely. Yeah, Thornhill Theater Space was created, like I said, just out of a thought, a need for, you know, to continue keeping theater alive. And that's what we did. And it kind of snowballed into something a little bit more than what we expected, but it's been a lot of fun. We've got a lot of fun projects coming up, some revamps of some series, in another Fringe festival where we're pretty sure we're going to go ahead with in August virtually. So yeah, we're excited. We're having fun trying to figure it all out, and we call ourselves a digital social media theater space. So I prefer to connect through social media. Send me a message on Facebook, Instagram, direct message on Twitter. We have a podcast on Spotify. We've got a YouTube channel, and it's just as easy as searching Thornhill Theater Space, all through all social medias. That'll come up. And yeah, we've got fun content on there for you to go back and check. We've had about 98% of our materials be allowed to stay on there, stay on the page for people to continually go back and watch. So that's been a lot of fun. You can catch our last year's Fringe Festival as well, still available to watch. So yeah, check it out on all Facebooks, you know, Instagram, Twitter, everything. So yeah, that's how you can connect.
Excellent. So Thornhill Theater Space. And all of that information will be included here in this post, which is information for the Pittsburgh Virtual Fringe. It will also be on their website at pittsburghfringe.org. And you can catch this show. Let me make sure I get it right. Self-Care Tips with Tiffany. You can catch this show as part of the Fringe, May 6th through the 9th. just visit the website and get information about tickets or reserving your seat, or getting your link. However it works for whichever shows that you're interested in, this show as well as the other 50 shows that are part of the Fringe this year. So let's make sure that I give you other information about the Fringe. You can find the Pittsburgh Fringe on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at pghfringe.com. And if you're interested in collaborating with me, you can find me, Alexis, at the Wild Imaginarium on all of them, Twitter, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. But I really want to highlight the idea that you could collaborate and continue also growing our global virtual artistic community with people like myself and with Ryan and all of the people at the Thornhill Theater space, right? Did I get it right?
Right.
Excellent.
Yes, you did.
So please reach out to them and make sure that you participate in whatever form you can with the Fringe. I think that Fringe artists and Fringe art is some of the most important that we have in the world today, because it's made by big, brave, bold artists who make sure that their stories are told and do whatever it takes to get that story out into the world. So I am so thankful for the work of you, Ryan, and all of the Fringe artists as part of the Pittsburgh Virtual Fringe and Fringes around the world. And I hope that we will continue to see more of your work. Yay!
Hey, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me. I grew up about 2 hours outside of Pittsburgh, so the city will always hold a huge, huge space in my heart. So I love to be part of this festival again this year. And thanks for chatting with me.
Absolutely. I know that me, myself, and all of the people in the Fringe are really excited to have you back and to kind of help us create this virtual world. And we're happy to be a part of your global vision for theater as it is and as it will be. So thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Hey, you as well. Thank you.